So the remaining part of the URL, you have to give it here. I'm clearly telling what is this API context, the one that I've collected, correct? I've created request.new context. I'm giving it in my API context. The login payload, I'm giving in this dot login payload. Now I'm telling this dot API context dot, this is a post method. So I'm giving post. Just give whatever is remaining after base URL, comma, and you have to give this. So to how do I say that is, so basically it should be like this. So this dot API context, which method you want post, and inside that, inside double quotes, give your remaining URL, comma, open, close, because this is another object. Okay. In this object, you can give headers, you can give payload. Payload is called as data. Okay. So now I don't have any headers here to give. That is why what I'm trying to do, I just have my data, and the data is my login payload. So in that only I have my payload, right? So the same thing I've written. This is how you need to write. So my login, I'm collecting it in my login response. It is a constant that I've declared. And now, as I told you, this will be in the form of text. Okay, this will not be in the form of JSON. I'm explicitly saying dot JSON so that I'm converting it to JSON. And I'm make sure it is await, it is async, because I told you that day, otherwise JavaScript will not wait. It will just keep on going without execution. So in my login response, I'm just trying to print it. So just to demonstrate how it looks. Okay. In my login response, JSON, there is a user object. Inside that, there is token. If you see this, yeah, if you see this response, can you see? This is my login JSON response. This full thing is my login response JSON. Inside that, there is user. Inside user, there is token. The same thing I've written. Login response dot user dot token, and I'm collecting it in token, and I'm printing it, and I'm returning the token. So get token method will fetch the token from your login response, and it will return. Where it will return? To wherever you have called. So I'm going to collect it in response dot token. So how this works is, I have created a response object, correct? This I am telling let a response object, and it can be of any type, and I'm telling it is an empty object. The same thing I'm done here. The moment you write a response dot something, a key gets created, and I'm assigning the value token. This I'm returning from the get token. So this means the response is an object, correct? Response is an object. Inside that, I have a key called as token, whose value is also token. This is how it is. This single 9 is nothing but this. You understood? Any questions?
No.
This
Okay.
I got it. Can you repeat the other
Which one?
the code which you have written?
Here.
Hmm.
This one.
Yes.
See, I'm calling create article from a step definition. But to create an article, I require to log in, correct?
Hmm.
And how do I log in? Only when I have a token, I can log in. Otherwise, I cannot do it. So first I have to fetch the token. And how do I get the token? I'm calling some method called as get token. Inside this, I'm hitting my login API, and the payload I'm passing it here. And how do I get these details? I've already passed it from my hooks.ts. Correct. Now I have my payload. Now I'll get the JSON. I mean, response I get, I'm converting it to JSON, and I'm just printing the details. And inside my JSON, there is token. See, login response JSON. The login response JSON is the entire thing. Dot user dot token will give my token, and I'm collecting it in the same variable const token, and I'm printing it and I'm returning it. And since I'm calling it here, the value comes here, and response dot token will now have my token value. Response is an empty object. The moment I do dot something, it will create a key. Okay, the key name is what? Token. The value that I've passed is also the name. The name is same. That's all. See, what is an object? Object is nothing but it's a key value pair. Key 1, value 1. Key 2, value 2. This is nothing but an object. Okay, that's all. So my key name is also token. My value name is also token. Got it? So I have it in my responser token. And now what I'm trying to do, I'm hitting that API, article creation API. What is that article creation API? New article. Okay. Now clear this. The moment you click publish article, you get this articles. If you see the payload, sorry, headers, this is my base URL slash API slash articles. The same thing I've given here. Okay. And what is my data? My article payload. My article payload, I'm getting it from my JSON in my test data. And what is the format of that? The format is this. I've already defined it there. Correct. And now, what did I tell you? In UI, what happens? We explicitly give username and password every time. But since everything is happening via APIs, I have to fetch my token. And for this article, I should have already logged in, which means they should know what is the token of it. So, to tell it in a very simple term, let's say I have logged into an e-commerce application and I've added to cart. I have OnePlus is the mobile phone that I've added to cart. Mega has also logged into the same application and she has added some Android phone. I have added OnePlus. She has some iOS. She has iPhone. Okay. Now Bindu has also logged into the same application, and she has added, let's say, more tablet. Okay. But now the application should recognize each of us, right? Because we have three different logins. How will it recognize? Through tokens. So you have to tell, I'm creating an article for whom? For this token. And that token, I have collected it response.token. If you see the header, how will I tell my article API it belongs to whom? That is why I have to pass that token here in headers. Got it? You have to pass it in headers. And authorization. This is always the header which is predefined that you have to pass your token. But how will I know this is the format? If you see here, response, okay, this is the payload. I think it's in that the other one. 1 second. Huh. Can you see here? Authorization. Token is there. See, not each application is defined in different ways. Maybe you go to some other application, Amazon, it might have a different format. They have already predefined the format. Token word should be there, followed by a token value. That is why I've done the same thing. Token, and it is not single quotes, it is backticks, which is next to one, right? Backticks. The moment you write something in backticks and have a dollar symbol with open and close, this means it's going to fetch the value of that. Okay. So token, and what is the value of response the token? It's nothing but this token value, this entire thing. So that it will be given in authorization header. So now my create article knows I'm creating article for which user, because I've already told via token it is for which user. And this is content type, another application JSON, simple. So now my article response will have this. What is the response? This is the response, correct? All these things will be there in response. So now again, I'm converting it to JSON and collecting it here. I'm just printing it. And now I'm returning the response. To whom I'm returning? I've called this from step definition, correct? So in my response, now I have created an article and I've sent the response. How will the response look? The response looks like this. So this entire thing is in my response. Now I'll say response dot token. Okay. Response dot token. I'm giving to something called as this dot auth token. So why am I doing this? Because this auth token I want in my another step definition also. That is why to make it global, I'm just reassigning it. Is this clear?
Yes.
I'll proceed.
Hmm.
I'm not able to hear.
Why you're giving that auth token equal to responses one? I didn't get you.
Okay, see here. What has happened till now? I'm in this step definition, correct? In this step definition, I got my response. Anyway, that response I've already created here. It is a global object because I want my other step definition also to use it. I've collected in response. You can give response.token as it is also. But I have given authentication token. It is like, how do I say? It is like a naming convention. The moment an unknown person, now I'm very new to the project, I don't know what it is. Response under it can be any response. But the moment you say it is auth token, it is like a predefined thing. Okay, this auth token is having the token by the naming convention. For that sake only, I've just put it here. Otherwise, it is not having any other meaning. Okay. So now I have it in my auth token. If you see this world.ts, I have my auth token, login API, API utils, auth token, everything defined here. Like how we do it for UI things, na? But same thing you have to do it for API things also. Simple. Okay. So the moment I've collected it here, so I'm done with the step definition. So what did I do in the step definition? I called my create article API. I passed my token from my get token. Now I have my token. With the help of that token, I have passed it in my authorization header. The moment I pass it in my authorization header, now the application knows that for which user it has to create the article and it has given me the response, which I'm reassigning it to this dot token. Till here I've done. Now go to the feature file. What is the next line? Then I'm saying I've already created an article. Now the article should be created successfully. But now here there is one more catch. What is the catch? I have created article. Okay. I have created article which my API knows. Correct? But my browser is somewhere on the other side. My browser is somewhere. How will it know that it has created an article? It doesn't know. But now I have to tell you have to log in via the same user so that you can see the article. Which means I have to create a connection between my API and my browser somehow to make sure for this user only I have to go and verify that article is created. For that reason, I have to inject the token. Okay. This token, okay, I have to inject a token. What is that token? The token is the same thing that we already have, correct? You have to give the token. This API should tell my browser for this token article is already created. And how are we going to do that in automation? This is how we are going to do it. Okay. So const URL, now we want front end application, right? We don't want back end. So what is the front end application? If you see here, front end is underscore UI have put. This is my front end application. Application URL underscore UI. So the same thing I would have put. Correct? Application URL underscore UI. Now I have it in my URL. I'm just printing my auth token again. That's all. All these things are not required, but for the understanding sake, I've put. I'm saying if there is no auth token is missing. So just stop the execution. There is nothing you can do without token. So just stop, throw the error and stop. I'm saying if there is token, then you please go to the URL. Or which URL? The front end application URL. Once you go, you have to inject the token into the local storage. If you see the application tab, go to local storage. Can you see there is JWT token here? This is the same token that is got in the response, login response. See, different applications would be designed in different ways. Some application would have had it in my session also. In session, I don't have it here. Some application will have it in cookies. In cookies also, we don't see. We just see in session storage, which means, can you see? Sorry, we just see in local storage, which means this dot page dot evaluate. This is like a predefined method, okay? So we are telling the browser, see, I have a token. Window is what? The browser thing is called as a window, okay? Window dot local storage. Why? Because I have that application designed in such a way where the token is stored in the local storage. Dot I'm setting item. Set item. What item? JWT token. See, the key name is JWT token. And what is the value of the token that I've already passed? Correct? Which is token, which is collected here. And from where I'm getting all these things? From this dot out token. How do I get the this dot out token? From the previous step definition. The moment I inject the token into my browser, and you have to reload it. Now directly I will go and do it. So I'll just execute this so that you will have some idea. 1 second. What is the name? API. Okay. API integration with UI. So just observe carefully here, okay? Can you see? See, now I'm not logging in. I'm directly going. I'm already logging in. I told you, right? This application will give sign in, sign up and all. 1 second. Yeah. Can you see here? I've already logged in. Ramya. Why I'm already logged in? Because via API I've already logged in. I'm taking the token. I'm giving it to my call article API. I'm sorry, create article API. And to the browser, I'm already injecting the token saying that for this user only I want. So I've already logged in. And the article should also have been created. But did I? Okay. These things I have not changed. But at least you understood why am I directly logged. Okay, let me stop this way. See, can you see? All the auth token, everything, we are printing it here. Let's say, I will not inject it. Okay. If I don't inject it, otherwise just forget everything. Let me just comment everything. Okay. Till let the playwright inspector. So what do you think this will do? This will just go to my front end application, correct? But it will not. It is. Let me change the test data also. Test data. Where is it? Yeah, this is one more homework for you guys. Here also, see, I'm hard coding the test data. So let this be as it is. But I want you to write some helper method in utils.ts, which is so generic, which is going to generate a random something, random integer or whatever. And I want you to combine this with that so that each time a unique article gets created. Otherwise, the same article is getting created. But application is not throwing any error, but I'm just telling you. That also please take it as homework. Okay. So now if you see, okay, let me execute this. It will just go to my sign in page. Why? Because even though I've created an article, I'm not injecting it to the browser, right? So it doesn't know for which user. So it is, see, it is not even going to that application because it's not knowing what to do. It will fail anyways. Uh, so okay. Now see, let me give a different thing only. Wait. Let me give Mega only. Yeah. Mega, there is no article called as Mega. I'll just give Mega. This is created by API Playwright. Okay. So if you go to that application and search for this article, oh, okay, I don't have this article. Okay, 0 of 0. But now this is manually I've opened. So let's run it. See, I'm already logged in. Can you see Mega is created? So now I'm checking whatever I've created and whatever I'm reading from the UI does it contain the article payload name, which is nothing but Mega. So my scenario is passed. So go in your manual thing, just refresh. This is manually I've opened. Now Mega should be visible. Got it? And this is created. See, if you see more, the same thing, whatever we have given, body of API Playwright Mega. How do I get this? Really? This one. So this is created by something should be there. I think that is there in the home page only. Yeah, this is created by API Playwright Mega. Got it? So this is how we are going to do. So step 1 in API, please make sure there is base URL. Base URL of the API, define it here. UI part, define it here. And go to your hooks.ts. Of course, in world.ts, you have to define whatever you require. And your hooks.ts, in the before hook, create API with the request, new context, and define only the API payload. Okay, login payload. Again, these are again defined in .env. Correct. The moment you do this, you create a new object in API utils class. Never write API utils.ts inside pages. Tell me why. Any of you tell me why? I could have seen. I have written inside pages so many files, right? Even these things are having classes. Even this is having a class constructor. I could have written inside pages only. Why did I write separate? Tell me.
Because it's an API.
So
UI is different from API,
Yeah.
where UI we visibly see the execution, but API we can't.
yeah. So by definition, what we had told, every UI has a tab. Every tab is called as a page. Correct? We have a page object model. We have these pages, but API is not having any page. So please don't mix it. Write a separate folder and in that write your API class. Inside this API class, I have my interfaces telling what is the structure of my payloads. And the moment I create an object in my hooks.ts before, it is going to come here and it is going to set my base URL and my login payload. Till here it is done. Now I'll go to my step definition. In my feature file, I'll go to my step definition and I want to call create article. In create article, I have my article payload passed. Article payload is a JSON. And how will I know the JSON format? It is already there. If you go to the network tab, you should get to know it. So go to that create article, but I cannot create an article without logging in. That is why I need a token. I want a token, so I'm calling this get token. And the login API's base URL I already have. The remaining part I'm passing it, and it is a post method. And the login payload I'm passing, I'll get in the JSON format, and I'm returning my token. And I'm collecting my token here. And I'm hitting my create article API, and I'm having that response here. And how will I tell this is for which user? That is where you want to pass the token. And how do I know this format? Because it's already there in the application. I have already told it has to be followed by token. So backtick token, these symbol open and close. This will replace the value. What is the value of the token? That long string we had, right? That one. You have to always pass it inside the authorization header. Content type is application/JSON. And again, the same thing. You're going to have it in the article response. You're going to convert it to JSON, and you're going to return the response. The moment you return the response, right, you're just putting in this .auth token. This is an optional step, but auth token means we will understand, right? Okay, fine. Here there is a token. That's all. Now, in my next step definition, what I'm trying to do, I'm setting the front end URI, which is already defined in .env. I'm collecting in URL, and I'm telling if there is no auth token, please throw. There is nothing that I can do without logging in, without token. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now, then I'm telling, please go to that front end URL and inject the token. How will I know how to inject? Browser means it's always window. Okay. Window dot local storage, because that is where this application is having token dot set item. It's a JWT token. The value is token, which I'm getting from this dot auth token, and I'm reloading the page. So now the token has got injected. This is not never put pause. Okay, just for demonstration I've shown. And now after this, see, now I've already gone into my API. Things are done. I've already gone into the application. Now I want to verify whether the API, this article has got created or not. And that is in UI. Please don't put that code in API utils. दरवाजा बंद करके जाओ ना, दरवाजा बंद करके जाओ, मॉर्निंग पे. Okay. So now this one, I'm verifying the article creation where? On the UI. So where should this go? If you see here, under pages, I have my API integration with UI page.ts. I have that method here where I'm reading the text, right? Here under the pages, because this is UI part. So this test case has combination of both API and UI. Whatever has to be done in API, put it in API utils.ts. Whatever part has to go as part of UI, under pages, you have to put it. Got it? So this is how we integrate API in UI framework of Playwright. Any questions with this?
We didn't
API?
run the complete thing, no? Like checking in the UI whether it created that article.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. If you see here,
No, I mean, just we
again,
didn't run it, right?
we validated it here. So this that article name, whatever that inner text that I'm reading, I'm expecting it to contain whatever I have added in my test data. Correct? If my UI, because whatever data I have in my test data, using that only I created, right? So whatever my test data has, if it is found in the UI, this I'm reading from the UI, that means the test case is passed. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So usually, how do you implement a framework of API in UI? In majority of the videos, they would have just shown in one file using request. Everything, whatever is done, they have just shown in one file. But you have to do it according to the framework, right? So according to the framework, one of the better ways is this is how we have to do. Okay. Practice with APIs. See, one of the example that you can do is I've created new article, correct? I don't know what else this application has. Just try to see. After you have created this new article, just try to go inside that article and try to post a comment. Okay? And try to do it via API. Okay, we have logged in via UI. We have logged in, we have created article via, we have logged in via API, created article via API, comment verified via UI. But I want you guys to go and post the comment via API. Can you do that as a homework? Maybe in the steps I'll write after this, or maybe in the this one only. Yeah, post comment via API. Okay, and whatever you have posted, verify via UI. So will you do it?
Okay.
Okay. I think you can stop recording.